Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am Leo's Harmony, and today we're taking a look at a reading about a decision that you have to make. We have only two piles here because that's what the guides and spirit wanted, so we're just going to do that. So please go ahead and pick your pile, and we can go ahead and get started with your reading. Okay, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you got the card, the Healing Stones. It says tenderness, care, gentleness, and nourishment. So maybe whatever you're deciding between has to do with self-care in some way. Let's pull a few more cards to give us more information, then I'll move on to tarot. Well, this landed perfectly, but you got the card protection. It says defense, set boundaries, guardian angel. So definitely something about you protecting yourself and your energy in some way. This is what your guides are trying to focus on. Let me pull from one more oracle deck before I move on to tarot. You got a couple cards here. So you got water. So I find that water is kind of cleansing in a way. So that could be what this means. You got reincarnation. And then you got balance. So there's some type of need for you to find balance, but also find a way to like heal yourself. There's something about you changing the way that you were. And I think there's a decision for you to make based on that. There's something about you learning how to protect your energy and you learning how to actually deal more with the negativity that's around you in a way that will kind of benefit you in the light. Something about cleansing here, something about balance, and the balance is about the negativity here that you're facing. And then the reincarnation is basically like the death card in tarot, where it's just something about change, breaking down like what's old and to bring in something new. There's something about you needing to learn how to protect yourself from the negativity, learn how to cleanse it, cleanse and protect here. Like find the balance between the two of like letting negativity into your life because, not everything is going to be positive. Sometimes you need to have like negativity, if that makes any sense. I know it really doesn't, but sometimes you need to have some type of negativity to kind of grow and experience the life. This doesn't mean like, oh, you're destined to like go through heartbreak or whatever. No. But if you do go through it, it kind of builds you up and it kind of strengthens you. So that's kind of what I mean instead. But this is about a decision. So there is something for you to decide here between, I think, staying in like where you are and kind of like learning how to heal. Let me pull tarot. I'll be right back, and this will give us more information. Okay, pile one. So you got the Knight of Wands, the Seven of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, Four of Swords, Seven of Swords. Sorry, Four of Wands and Seven of Swords. So I'm not gonna lie, this energy is a little chaotic, but I think this is kind of good for this reading specifically. So it's kind of like you're deciding here what you want to do, if you want to chase your dreams, you want to follow your passions, but then it's like you're hesitating here with the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups, where you're kind of like, do I really need this or can I actually do this? And your guides are kind of mentioning that there's this like fine line between you doing what you want and you kind of taking on too much, or you're kind of receiving too much or trying to like take rather than, there's something weird here about like taking or like, this like backstabbing type of energy. So let me pull actually one or two more cards that kind of explain that. You got Judgment. That doesn't tell us a whole lot. Maybe I think it's about having, you know, like this internal, how would you even describe that? Like internal uh like dialogue with yourself about like this is good or this is bad for me. And I think what this is kind of more saying is that I think you should kind of pursue your dreams, and this is what you're deciding between here. Going for your dreams or kind of like staying still where you are. And it's talking about how you have to kind of go for your dreams, but do it in a way that isn't negative. So, like, when I say that, I mean, you know how CEOs, like, sometimes they'll get so much money, but they'll do something negative to get it? Like, I guess we can talk about the oil industry for that. Like, you're kind of hurting the planet in some way, but you're getting money for it. And I think your guides are trying to be very careful with you going down that route. So please do not do that, because I feel like if you do, well, one, it's like not a good thing to do, right? That's not what, your guides want or what spirit wants. And if you do, I feel like they're pretty much going to take everything away from you. So please, you know, listen to that. Always do things with good intentions. But you really need to learn how to protect yourself, protect your energy, cleanse, because this is not only important for you, but it's also important for the decision that you have to make and you living in that, right? If you do decide to pursue your dreams, you're going to pretty much get what you want, but you have to be careful on how you do it. And I think in you learning how to cleanse and protect yourself, you're going to learn how to do this in a much lighter way instead of like something in the negative energy. And that'll help you a lot. It's like a reincarnation of yourself. So I think this whole reincarnation is kind of talking about you learning how to control these tendencies that you might have to be like, oh, I can get what I want if I do this. And it's like, I don't care. I don't care if it'll affect other people. And maybe this is something you need to learn, but really kind of step into the light more. So please learn how to cleanse and protect yourself. So this decision that you're making, it's kind of like you deciding between staying still, like where you are now, or kind of following your dreams. But in order to get what you want from this, you have to make sure that you don't do this in a negative way. So I think your answer here lies within that. Are you able to take that step and kind of be like a a light person with like light energy, right? Or are you going to do things in a malicious way that will kind of like, no matter what, it's going to hurt people and I don't care? Like, that's not going to help you. In fact, like I said, they're going to take everything away from you if you do that. But, this is a decision that you have to make. Please protect yourself. Be careful with like this negativity, even surrounding yourself with people like that. Because maybe it's not even you, maybe it's people around you. And, in a way, what if there is someone that comes into your life eventually when you do become successful that is like the CEO, this uh CEO energy of like, oh, I don't care if it hurts people as long as I make money. And you kind of like agree with that, with whatever plan they have, and you don't try to like deny it because you're like, oh, it's not me making that decision. So it's not going to affect me negatively in my spirituality. And your guides are like, no, that's still wrong. We are pretty much going to take everything away from you if that happens. So I think it's more learning how to live in the light and how to do things the proper way. So this is like a really, I guess, specific pile here. But let's pull a few closing cards because I think we got all the information that we needed. You got surprises. It says under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. So I think with this card, it's more talking about how, like there's much. Oh, actually, it kind of relates to these crystals, huh? So there's an undisturbed garden, and you being that garden. Oh, there actually is like a little garden here. That's kind of interesting. So I think it's emphasizing the need to kind of heal, and like learn how to protect yourself and how to cleanse yourself. And you need to find that balance, and you need to learn how to change the life that you're living now in order to be better aligned with spirit here. So your guides are encouraging you to kind of go through this choice. There's retreat. It says spoil yourself in the morning mist. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. So spoil yourself, I think it's more talking about this. Like, pursue your dreams, you're gonna get what you want. Breathe in nature's sweet scents. Sweet scents, I think, are more aligning with the light energy. Again, if you're not this type of person with the whole negativity here, don't even worry about it. Like, you know right from wrong. But if you are kind of learning, and I feel like most of you are in this file, please, take caution with the way that you do stuff. It says wish. It says make a wish with a dandelion in the wind. So again, pursue your dreams. It's what you've been wanting to do, and I feel like it's the right moment to kind of start. So go ahead and do that, but please, again, I'm, being so cautious with this, and I want to remind you as much as possible. Do things in the light, don't do things in the negative. Don't be complicit in other people doing negative stuff, especially if it's involving your name and your business, if you are wanting to make one. If it's education, same way, whatever it is. So please try to do things the right way, and I think things will work out for you in that sense. So that is it for you, Pile 1. I hope this reading kind of helped you in some way. If you would like a personalized reading, my Etsy is linked down below, but please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But thank you for watching. Hi, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you got the card Scrying. It says, trust your visions, intuition, and plant seeds. So maybe there's something for you to start here, and there's a need for you to kind of start with trusting your intuition, and that's kind of how you move on to something better. But let's pull a few oracle cards to get more information. Oh, okay. So you got good romance. It says relationship, desire for a partner, love, and couple. So there's something here with love. And there's something here starting with love and a decision that you have to make. So let's pull more information regarding this, and then we'll move on to tarot. Oh, that kind of just flew out. You got phenomenon. I'm feeling maybe one more. Okay, that was too many. You got anguish. There's something here about you learning how to decide on how to have a good partner, how to, kind of take this step to make sure that the person that you're with is great for you and not like hurting you in any way. Phenomenon, I think, is just more involving how people that are meant for you will kind of come to you. You don't have to rush anything, you don't have to start anything uh, with like the next person that you see, right? I think good romance, because it is talking about good romance here, involves you kind of just knowing your intuition here. Plant seeds, so maybe you're starting off as friends, maybe you're going to develop into a relationship later. Or planting seeds can mean like you're taking things one step at a time. You're no longer rushing into a relationship because you don't get to know the person, and then you find out you don't really fit together. And although this is about phenomenon here, it's kind of like two different energies here, right? And I feel like this can go either way. If they're It kind of reminds me of science, like with atoms, like they either attract or repel each other. So I think it's kind of talking about that here and learning to distinguish between like the good people and the bad people for you. And this whole anguish thing here, this is kind of a result of either, well, actually just the bad here. So if it's bad for you, it's not going to work out. And I think, this decision that you're making, your guys are kind of enforcing you to kind of learn how to kind of pick the right partner. Let me pull tarot and I'll be right back. Welcome back, pile 2. So you got the Ace of Pentacles, Strength, 3 of Wands, Knight of Cups, and 6 of Swords. Let me tell you that you got such beautiful cards here. So the Ace of Pentacles is more about finding the stability and this new stability in your life. Strength is, having the strength to kind of pursue this and the courage and all of this. 3 of Wands is kind of like pursuing your dreams and having, this energy of like, oh, I really want to do this. Knight of Cups is about like wearing your heart out on your sleeve, like you're being such a romantic. And then the 6 of Swords is kind of like this idea of like you moving from something negative to something positive because of help that you're receiving. So it kind of seems here like you are going to find love when you kind of least expect it. And I think, the work here first is to kind of know what you want from a relationship and from a person that you want, you know? And then we kind of move on to like, okay, I know that you're in anguish because you haven't found anyone. I know you're kind of hurting because of this, but let's do the work here first. And then once you do that, we're helping you because the 6 of Swords is you moving from this place of anguish to moving something positive, but that's because of help that you're getting. So it's kind of like you're still negative, but you're being pulled forward into something positive here. And it's kind of like you still have to work on stuff, right? Because you're still kind of negative, but we're forcing you to move into positivity. So, for a lot of you, it's kind of like knowing the right type of person for you, knowing that you can, find a relationship that lets you be yourself, where you can be yourself, you can love, you can find passion, and you have so much strength with this person, right? The stability that you're trying to find. And this is, something that will be like a phenomenon to you. Something that's so like, oh, this is so rare for me, to see. This is, once in a lifetime. This is the type of energy that you should be feeling in a relationship. If you are in a relationship, it's you having this change here of like whatever anguish you're feeling, if you're feeling any, should change. You should find the light in this energy. You should learn how to heal because what you're doing with the Six of Swords here is kind of moving from this energy of like trauma to something positive. And that's what your guides want here. So move, from the negativity and heal all the trauma that you have. Your intuition here is telling you to do that. And I think you also know that. So heal the trauma. You'll find love in doing so. And if you are in a relationship already, healing this trauma will only strengthen your relationship a lot more. So you're going to be in a much better place because of this, and that's what your guides kind of want here. And so you're kind of deciding between staying here in this stuck energy of like you wanting this relationship or a relationship in general. The energy that it's in now is still fine, but it's not the best. The energy, if you're single, is fine, but it's not the best as well. So learn how to pick a good partner here if you're single. Learn what you want from a relationship, heal your trauma, then love will find you. If you are in a relationship, learn how to kind of heal your trauma regardless, and your relationship will strengthen. So you really need to kind of do this. I don't think there is a decision here to make because your guides are kind of forcing you through this. So Six of Swords, I think your guides are like the crows in this, in the imagery here. So you're being forced to go through this change. But trust your intuition in the process. Plant seeds, I think it's talking about all of this here. If you think about it, this is kind of like a seed here. You see the little plant here with the roots? It's finding this stability. So literally, your guides are forcing you to do this. But I think this is good for you regardless. So let me pull a few closing cards because there's not much else to say here. You got opportunities. It says unfurl like a fern even without warm sunlight. So again, funny how we got like this whole starting thing here. So definitely an opportunity for you to heal. And once you do that healing, you're basically going to get what you want. And that'll be the relationship. That'll be, you being able to find a good person if you're single, you strengthening the relationship if you are in one. And even, if the relationship isn't meant for you, I think in you healing, you'll learn that. It says resilient. Stay as strong as evergreen trees. So strength kind of applies to this. I think it's your guys reminding you to like, don't stray from the path. You really need to heal this. And I think they're kind of emphasizing that a little bit more here. So please don't, try to run away from it. You got time. It says embrace in the dewdrops of life before they disappear in the morning sun. This is such a beautiful message here because it's basically saying you need to experience love before your time goes away, before you become really old and it's time for you to kind of leave Earth. And they want you to not focus so much on this negativity here, this block that you gave yourself of love. Your guides are saying that this block of negativity here is keeping you from love because you need to heal. And once you do heal, you won't waste your time on this earth not experiencing love because of the negativity that you feel. They want you to grow old with someone. They want you to experience love. And they want you to heal, more importantly. So you can do that. So please heal so that you can experience love. You can grow old with them. You can have these happy and loving memories with them. You can travel the world together. Because once you do, everything will be better for you. But please heal this negativity here so that your relationship can strengthen with yourself, and if you're single, with your partner, and if you're single, with the person that you're going to find, but if you're taken already, with your partner. So please do the work. I think your guides are being very sweet about this, very clear, but they kind of are forcing you through this work. But I think everything's gonna work out in the end. You just have to kind of start this. Well, I mean, actually, your guides are kind of forcing you through this, but you know what I mean. You should continue it. So that is it for you, Pile 2. Thank you for joining me in this reading. If you did, like this reading, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like a personalized reading, my Etsy is linked down below. But thank you for watching.